Millionaire leaves safe open to test his maid daughter, but he never imagined what would happen. The room was silent, but his heart wasn't. Ulrich Lane stood just outside the suite doorway, holding the knob with one hand, his phone in the other, recording. The light from the open safe flickered against the polished wood panels, casting soft shadows across the wall. In front of it stood a little girl barely taller than the doorknob. Her back turned, one hand on the handle of the heavy metal door. Her name was Suri, 7 years old, dark brown skin, curly hair tied into uneven puffs. She wore a sleeveless cream-cold shirt with a small hole near the hem and loose jeans that bunched at her ankles. No shoes. She hadn't said a word since she entered. Suri was the daughter of Mesa, Rex's full-time maid. Mesa cleaned his penthouse 3 times a week, and he never paid attention to the child she sometimes brought along until today. Today, RX decided to conduct a test. He left the safe open on purpose, full of neatly stacked cash, at least $500,000 in bills. No security cameras, no staff, just him behind the door and her near the safe. He told himself it wasn't malicious. He was just curious. Would a girl like that, someone born to poverty, raised around wealth she'd never touch, take what wasn't hers when no one was looking? He never expected her to find the safe, but she had, and now she stood there inches from temptation. Suri's small fingers gripped the edge of the safe door. Her eyes didn't flicker with greed. Number. They were wide with something else. Confusion perhaps, fear, wonder. Her gaze fell on the thick stacks of cash, each banded in green and white, perfectly arranged. More money than she'd ever seen in her life. Eric leaned forward, silently, narrowing his eyes. Was she going to take one? He didn't move. Didn't blink. Then Suri whispered something. Not a prayer, not excitement, just one word. Why? Oryx's brow tightened. Suri stepped closer, almost nose to the cash. She reached into her back pocket and pulled out something. Folded paper. Then, to Oryx's complete disbelief, she knelt down, placed the paper carefully on top of the top stack, and shut the safe halfway. Still open but untouched. She hadn't taken a single dollar. Oryx's heart beat louder now. He took one step forward, creaking the door slightly. Suri turned. She wasn't startled. She had known he was watching. You left it open on purpose, she said quietly. He stepped fully into the room, not bothering to lie. I did. She nodded like she'd expected that. Was it a trick? He folded his arms, trying to keep his tone measured. I wanted to see what you'd do. Why? Because I needed to know. Know what? She asked. If poor kids steal, exhaled slowly. Not exactly. Yes, she said, eyes unwavering. Exactly. He took a step closer. You could have taken something. No one would have stopped you. I would have. RX stared at her. Suri walked past him toward the middle of the room, her bare feet soft against the plush carpet. She paused beside the king-sized bed, but didn't sit. My mom told me, she began that life gives you chances to do the right thing when it's hard, when nobody's watching or when someone is. He swallowed. She turned. You don't trust people like us. You think we're waiting to grab whatever we can. That's not fair. But it's true, she interrupted. You didn't leave that safe open for a rich kid. You left it open for someone like me. Ulrich had no answer. She tilted her head. You test poor kids like we're rats in a maze. But you never test the ones born into the money. He clenched his jaw. You don't understand the world I live in. She shrugged. Maybe not, but I understand my own. He glanced toward the safe. What was in the paper? Read it. He walked back, opened the safe fully. The note sat exactly where she placed it. He opened it. A child's handwriting uneven and scratched read. My mom says if you have to steal, it means someone failed to give. Ulrich Lane remained in the room long after Suri had gone. He didn't move. The note rested between his fingers like a quiet indictment. One sentence scrolled by a child had knocked the wind out of a man who'd survived hostile boardrooms and market crashes. If you have to steal, it means someone failed to give. The safe was still open, still full, but it didn't feel like it mattered anymore. He walked to his desk, placed the note down with trembling fingers, and sat. For the first time in years, he didn't reach for his keyboard or phone. He stared, he thought, and then he remembered something. 12 years ago, in a concrete apartment off Brighton Avenue, Eric had lived with his aunt after his father died. They had nothing. He remembered opening a tin cookie box once, hoping to find food. Instead, there were old utility bills and a single $10 note folded like a secret. He didn't take it. He just stared. He remembered what it felt like to need and feel unseen. That night, Ulrich didn't sleep. The next morning, Mesa arrived as usual, hair pinned back, white blouse, dark slacks, plastic gloves already on. She entered the penthouse with her head low, her daughter trailing behind her. Ulrich stood at the kitchen island already waiting. "Mrs. Ramy," he said. She froze mid-step. "Yes, sir. You can remove your gloves today." Mesa hesitated, unsure. Suri peeked from behind her, clutching a small book. "I'd like to speak with your daughter," he said. MSA's eyes flicked wide. "Sir, if she did something wrong, she didn't." Still cautious, Mesa nodded and stepped back. Suri walked forward slowly, but without fear. Ar crouched down so he was eye level with her. "I read your note," he said. Suri nodded. "You were right." She said nothing. He gestured to the couch. "Can we sit?" She climbed onto the edge. He sat beside her, shoulders tight. "I thought I was testing you," he said. "But you tested me." Still no response. "I judged you by the wrong things. Where you're from, what your mom does, what you wear." He looked down. "That was small of me." Sir's voice was calm. "You're not small, just scared." That hit harder than anything. He chuckled softly. Almost a choke. "You're 7? Almost 8, she corrected. Ulrich blinked at her. "I want to show you something," he said. He stood, walked to his home office, and returned with a black velvet box. Inside was a thick engraved gold coin, something he had custom made a decade ago when he closed his first $10 million deal. On one side it read, "Winning is everything." On the other side, "Trust no one." He placed it in her hands. "I made this to remind myself how the world works. But I think I've been wrong." Siri turned it over, her brow furrowed. "You can keep it," he said. "I don't want it." He smiled. "Good." Suri glanced toward her mother, then back at him. "Why did you leave it open?" He didn't answer right away. "Then I wanted to confirm a belief I was afraid to let go of." "Which belief?" "That people only do the right thing when they're being watched." Suri looked down. "Sometimes they don't even do the right thing when they are." Ulrich nodded slowly. "Would you like something to eat?" he asked. She shrugged. "Pancakes?" He looked toward Mesa. "We'll make them together." They did. And as the morning light warmed the kitchen, the man who once tested others finally opened up himself. After breakfast, Mesa tried to leave quietly, but Ulrich stopped her. "There's a reason I asked you not to clean today." Mesa turned nervous. "I'd like you to stop working here." Her heart dropped. "Sir, please." "If it's about yesterday, I promise she didn't." He held up his hand. "I want you to stop working as Maid." She blinked. "I'm offering you a new position, full-time assistant property manager at my downtown complex. Better hours, real pay. You'd be supervising, not scrubbing." She stared at him, unable to speak. "But I don't have," she started. "I'll cover the training," he said. Her knees nearly gave out. "And Suri," he continued, turning to the girl now licking syrup from her fingers. "She'll have her own spot in my scholarship foundation if she wants it." Suri looked up, eyes wide. "For real?" Ulrich smiled. "For real?" Then he knelt beside her again. "And if you ever want to work in my office testing me again, you're welcome to." Suri giggled. "Just don't leave your safe open," she said. He laughed deeply this time. The test had ended, but the lesson would last. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.